Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are doing pretty well. Well, today's going to be just a regular wash on the Equinox here. It's a bit overcast, sun coming in and out of the clouds here. Perfect opportunity to wash it. It's like 77 degrees. It's like 68% humidity, something like that. It's been rather humid here because they had a tropical storm down in Mexico. I think it was Tropical Storm Mario, kind of just passed. So we got the outskirts of that, so it's still a bit humid here. But again, not a problem here. It's just it's overcast, perfect time to just wash outside. So I can actually use the pressure washer and stuff out there rather than doing a rinseless wash. And the perfect opportunity because Tyler from Diamond ProTech actually sent me the new maintenance line from Diamond ProTech. So Tyler, thank you for sending this out to me. Actually I was about to pull the trigger on these anyway because they had some intriguing products in here. And just happened to, Tyler just happened to email me at the right time. And so I jumped on it and said, hey, sure, I would love to try out the new products here. And so we're going to try them out and we're going to see how they are. So I'm just going to go over quickly what was included in the package. That way you guys can actually figure out what they offer in the maintenance line. And I'm going to use probably a couple products today. So they have 2 soaps in the line here. The first one that was included in the package is Diamond Revive. So we'll take a look at this at a later time because I don't have a really, maybe today, we'll see. But this is a low pH wash, essentially an acidic wash designed basically to, quote, revive your ceramic coating. So some coatings have a tendency to clog, especially if you live in harsher weather conditions. The lower panels tend to clog first. And so that's where this product comes into play here. You're going to use this to unclog your ceramic coating. Now, interesting that they chose not to go with a high pH, an alkaline wash as well, but you're getting the acidic wash, which is still good to have in the lineup. So I don't know, again, clogging is not an issue here for me, but I do like to keep an acidic wash on hand for doing like a 2 pH or a 3 pH wash decontamination of a ceramic coating. Just kind of deep clean it every so often. So I may or may not use this today, so we'll see, because I don't really need it because the Equinox is not severely dirty, and they state to use this for extremely dirty vehicles. The Equinox doesn't fall under that, but I could use that at a pre-wash to kind of start breaking some things down. So we may or may not use this today. What I am going to be using for sure is their other soap that they call Diamond Coat Care. Now this is their traditional maintenance wash, pH neutral maintenance wash here that you're going to use for your light to moderate dirty vehicles surfaces here. So this is kind of like where the Equinox falls into play here. This is actually a wash and coat, and so you're probably asking, what is that? Well, similar to like a wash and wax. Wash and wax is going to leave something on the surface, right? But this has is going to leave protection behind to kind of, just keep those hydrophobic properties on the surface. So it's going to leave some protection on the surface. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it will leave some protection on there. Not designed to be durable protection. It's just kind of like a maintenance thing here, just to kind of keep that beading going here. So the other one that they sent their Diamond QD, their quick detailer. Now this was actually a much needed product in their lineup because one of the questions that kept coming up is like, hey, what can I use as a drying aid for my Diamond ProTech coating, which is either Diamond Body 36, Diamond Body, or maybe it just had Diamond Quick Body. It's like, hey, what can I use? Because there's certain products that don't play well with the Diamond ProTech line of coatings. They get a little smeary on the surface. One of the products I found works great is CarPro Echo, which I was using when I had Diamond Body on the Camaro back here. So I may revisit their coatings at some point, just not at this moment because I already picked out the coating I'm going to put on the Equinox. This is coated. I'm not going to be polishing this off. The coating can technically last forever on this guy because I rarely drive this one. So we may try those at a later time. I'm not at this moment, so at a later time we'll try it out. But they've made some changes to their coatings as well. So maybe when we get back into it, we'll take a look at those coatings here. So the other one that they included was their mineral spots or water spot remover. Most of you use it, but they call it their mineral spot remover too. It's called Diamond DSolve here. So this is your typical product that's going to be used to remove water spotting. We'll go into full details on this one as well, but it's used to remove like salt. Salt. What do you call it? I forget what I called it. Anyway, it's going to help demineralize your ceramic coating. I can't remember everything off the top of my head here when I did look at the product here, but it's used to demineralize your coating because there's, like I said, if your coating gets clogged, this is where something like this will come into play. Maybe you get some water spots on there, and this will kind of help. Now, is it going to remove those water spots completely? It depends on how long those water spots are on the surface. In most instances, if you catch them early, you can remove them with the water spot remover. If you wait a little longer, they're not going to come off. You're going to have the imprint rings on there, but this is going to be used to kind of demineralize the surface on there. So it's kind of hit and miss on when you catch the water spotting on here. Tyler did mention that on a second-hand use, kind of an off-label use, as can be used as a surface decontamination. No, not like an iron remover, but just basically you're using this like another water spot remover to decontaminate your coated surface. So only thing they state on here is don't let it dry on the surface on there. Which leads us to the next product here, and it comes in two formats here. It's called their Diamond Multi-Surface. This is their APC. So you get the ready-to-use version, diluted already at 10:1 for you, or 1:10. I like referring to it as 1:10, which is 1 part product to 10 parts water. That's what this is diluted to. And then they have their concentrate version, which is the big one here. And this is for those of you that want more control of your APC, meaning you can adjust its dilution from 1:1 up to 1:30. So again, this has a pretty wide range. You can use it on interior, exterior, bugs, whatever you want to use it for. They also did mention, Diamond ProTech, they state to, if you're using DSolve, to follow up with their multi-surface APC to neutralize this. So they did mention that. So we're going to go ahead for sure take a look at Coat Care today. So again, as I mentioned, this is their typical maintenance wash for your regular wash usage, on a weekly, bi-weekly wash, whatever you want, however you wash your vehicle. This is what you're going to use here. Again, light to moderate soiling on the vehicle, and so that's where we're going to use it here. Now the directions on the bottle don't necessarily match what's on the website here, and so we're going to kind of just go here. So I'll just read you what this says. Diamond Coat Care Shampoo has been created to be compatible specifically with Diamond ProTech Nano Diamond technology when used regularly. The nanoparticles from Diamond Coat Care will bond to the vehicle surface, forming a protective and extremely hydrophobic layer over its surface. With excellent cleansing abilities, our unique formulation works in tandem with your existing wax or nano diamond coating. This additional layer will further enhance the appearance of your vehicle and increase the life of the coating. So there you go. It's going to leave some protection on the surface. The Equinox again does have C6 Hydrolite, so technically it's a nano diamond coating. Yes, it's got a lot of issues on the coating, but it is what it is. So it says directions here. So this is what they state here. It says add 3 to 4 capfuls, 30 milliliters or 1 ounce of Diamond Coat Care surface to a bucket of cool, clean water. Agitate the water and shampoo with a jet of water from your pressure washer or hose. Thoroughly wash your vehicle using a microfiber wash mitt. After washing, thoroughly rinse and then dry the vehicle using a microfiber drying towel. Now this is where I'm going to kind of say, it says, okay, note this shampoo is designed to work with your existing nano coatings. Again, I've looked on these the other day, but I just, kind of got erased in my memory here. Pro tip: this is where I kind of the directions don't really match with what's on their website. It says pro tip: add up to 100 milliliters or 3 ounces of Diamond Revive shampoo to your snow foam lance already filled to 3/4 of capacity with water. Foam your vehicle and let the foam dwell for 35 minutes. Do not let the foam dry out. Rinse well and then wash your vehicle with either Diamond Revive shampoo or Diamond Coat Care shampoo. After washing your vehicle, it can dry and all that. And then it says you can follow up with Diamond Quick Body or Diamond QD to leave a durable layer of protection, gloss, and shine. So what I mean by where the directions kind of deviate from what's stated on the website is here they're telling you to use Revive as a pre-foam, which again, perfectly fine, not a problem. But if I just wanted to use this as my pre-foam, kind of like if I want to do like a foam rinse foam, or maybe I wanted to foam it to add some lubrication, there doesn't say it on the bottle, but on the website it states 3 ounces. So you're going to add, what did it say on here? 100 milliliters or 3 ounces of soap into your foam cannon. That's a lot of soap if you're going to be doing that. You're going to go through it quite a bit. We're going to follow the directions for this on the website. So I'm going to put 100 milliliters. I'm actually going to do 90 because 3 ounces is actually 90 milliliters, a little less than 100. So we're going to go ahead and add this into the foam cannon. I have the foam cannon with 750 ml, so let's go ahead and put this in there. And so let me kind of pop open this. Now they do have cool little caps on here, which is pretty nice, and they got the little seal on the bottom, so they kind of click on here. Take a whiff. Doesn't really smell like anything, so we'll show you the consistency. It is a pretty thin foam, so this cap goes all the way to 100 milliliters. I'm gonna put. Should we just follow the directions and just do 100? We'll do 100 just for the sake of it. So here's the consistency. It's pretty thin, and what this is going to do is going to give us a lot of foam. Like I said, I don't want to use this much product. That's too much. I bet you if I use like 60, I could probably get a decent amount. So that's 100 milliliters of soap in here, and you can actually see that's how much I've used already out of the bottle. So, and that's a 500 ml bottle. So I have 400 milliliters to play with on here. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this into my foam cannon. And before I do that, let me put the cap on the soap because I don't want to drop it. So I don't know if I can show this. So here's my foam cannon. And we're going to pour this in here, and you can see it's pretty thin. And so the fact that it's thin, look, it all comes out of the cup that I have on here. There's not a whole lot left in here, and if I wanted to, I could just get all the remaining residue out. And then what I like to do is take a little brush and stir it up, just to kind of get a good mix of soap in here. And then I'm going to put the lid back on here. So again, I'm going to use the Ethos foam cannon. So this Ethos foam cannon is an MJJC. And so we're going to go ahead and use this in our soap. And I'm going to go ahead and add some into the bucket. And we're going to wash with this. And then what I'm going to end up following is making another, on this video as well, we're going to tag the Diamond Quick Detailer on there as well. So I'm going to show you the way that this foams. We're going to go over the cleanability, because I think I might just pre-rinse it with just regular water, and then I'll just foam it with this soap here. Then I'm going to go ahead and just show you on one panel what it looks like in terms of its foam, and then out of the foam cannon, and then also we'll go over with the wash mitt, kind of just feel the lubrication that it offers. It should offer plenty of lubrication, and then we'll finish off the vehicle with a Diamond QD. So I don't think I'm going to be using DSolve today. I might use DSolve on that one lower portion of the rear bumper on the passenger side, where it shows where the coating looks like it's failed. So I've used DIY Detail water spot remover on it a couple times already. And the reason why I want to try DSolve is because I don't want to say this, but I think this is giving me some false implications that the coating is revived, because I use this, I go over it, I rinse it off, and it looks like the beading's coming back. I come back the next wash, and the beading's completely gone. So I think this is giving me some false implications that it's doing something to the coating. So that's what maybe I'll try DSolve on the lower portion here. And maybe I'll try, neutralize it with this and then rinse it off. And then we'll see if the soap actually leaves a protective layer on the surface. So I think that's a good test, all right? So let me wash the wheels and tires first. I'm just gonna use a regular bucket of water here, a bucket of soap and water with some other soap I have in here. I'm not gonna be using any of the Diamond ProTech stuff here. And then I'll come back and I'll show you how to wash or how this stuff foams. So I'll be right back with that. Stay tuned, enough babbling. All right, everyone, welcome back here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to try out this Diamond DSolve here, and I'll show you the rear panel here. I'm actually sitting down here because I wanted to get all my stuff set up. But I want to see if I want to show you what it looks like right now. I've already pre-rinsed it. I actually just wiped it down with, I put a little bit of Revive, their Revive shampoo on a towel, and then I just wiped it in there to kind of rinse it off. And then I'll show you what this looks like right now. So I want to just kind of clean it before applying this. Let me flip this over. And so here's the panel I'm talking about. And again, this has C6 Hydro Light. And I wanted to show you what it looks like right now. So you can see it looks like it's just sheeting there, while the panel right above it is still beading. And so I thought that was actually the coating starting to clog. And so when I use the water spot remover from DIY Detail, when I use it on here, it starts beading on there. So, that's why I was like, is that giving me a false sense of security on there? So we're going to take a look at Diamond DSolve, and I want to read the directions here. It says, DSolve is a coating safe, highly effective mineral remover. It effortlessly removes water spots and mineral deposits from paint and glass without damaging your existing coating. Directions: spray Diamond DSolve onto the area to be treated. Leave to dwell for up to 30 seconds and then wipe off. For stubborn deposits, repeat this process. Once the area has been cleaned, rinse thoroughly with water and dry with a microfiber towel. Top tip: Diamond DSolve is perfect for removing mineral deposits around the house, such as bathroom taps, showers, and kitchen sinks. Okay, do not apply to hot surfaces. Never allow Diamond DSolve to dry out on the surface being treated. Always remove and rinse sprayer head after use and reseal with original cap. So again, you want to just take that out. This trigger is okay. So we're going to go and just give it a little heavy dosage here. Now the other thing I could do is I could actually work this in with the towel, and I think I'm going to do that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just work this in and kind of agitate it, and I'm going to go ahead and spray some more on there because I don't want this thing to dry. And the reason I'm agitating is I want to see if it's going to unclog the coating here. So I'm just going to go spray a little bit more. We're going to let that sit for 30 seconds here. So once I see 3 minutes on the camera here where I'm recording, then I'll go ahead and rinse it off, and we'll see if it does anything. I doubt it. I think this Hydro Light coating has actually failed, and I can't do anything to bring it back. So I think that's what I'm seeing here. Okay, so I got another 15 seconds or so here, and then we'll rinse it off, and then we'll see if it does anything. Like I said, I suspect it won't because the coating has failed. So, all right, we're going to be hitting 3 minutes here and right now. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off. And so you can see it's still sheeting. So this coating here has lost its hydrophobics. I mean, and that's how we usually deem that it's failed. So even if I dry this off with the other side of the towel, kind of dry this off here, just to make sure there's no residue on here. And we'll re-wet it, and then we'll see if it comes back. So you can see that there's nothing there. Whereas if I had the DIY Detail water spot remover and I sprayed it on here, I sure brought it with me, then it will kind of make this bead. So unfortunately the coating has failed. This is why I kind of want to move away from that. So let me go ahead and set up the rest of my stuff here to foam this. So I'm going to come back on camera. I'm going to come back on camera in a second here because I got to get all set up, take all my stuff back, and go ahead and foam this with the Coat Care. So I'll be right back. Actually, just for the sake of this, I'm going to go ahead and put the DIY Detail water spot remover. I flipped the towel to another side, and we're going to go ahead and spray this on the surface here, and we'll see how this reacts. I'm going to heavily spray it on here. So again, I just sprayed it almost out from this bottle, and again, I'll just agitate this here. And then I'll just let that, because I don't want it to dry here and the sun's starting to come out. So let me go grab the pressure washer, put that side there, and then we'll rinse it off and we'll see how this responds. And this is what I'm saying. I don't know if this DIY Detail is giving me a false sense of security here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rinse it off right here. So you can actually see that it does look like it's starting to bead. And right now it's performing like pretty close to the top surface. And so right there it looks like the beading's brought back. So let me flip the camera back to myself. That's what I mean when I was saying that the coating looks like it's still there with the DIY Detail water spot remover. And you saw the Diamond DSolve didn't do a whole lot to revive that on there. So I just want to mention that. And let me actually set up here. I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around. I'll let you guys stare at the air here. And then what I'm going to do is get the other foam cannon. I got 2 foam cannons in here. Get this up, get the right foam cannon I need. Let me adjust the stream pattern. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you the way that this foams out of the canister. This is Coat Care. The fan setting's a little too. There we go. So that's 100 milliliters. Again, your pressure washer, your hardness of the water is all going to play a factor in how this thing foams. And right now, this is just, it's thick. So that's what I'm saying. I could probably back out quite a bit here. I'll just show you foaming the entire car here. I mean, that's pretty thick. So I think 100 milliliters is just a little too much. So I think if you're just going to use this as your regular maintenance wash, I think you want to just kind of back out a bit. I'm working in this tight confined space because I didn't expect the sun to come out. So but that's a lot of, that's a little too thick here when it comes to the soap. Let's go ahead and agitate this in the bucket. Let me pop you back down on the thing here because I'm going to take the foam cannon off. And we're going to go ahead and see how it does in the bucket. So I'm going to go ahead and take you here, set it away. So pretty good foam quality out of here. Let's go ahead and take this off. So it should feel super, you know, the lubricity should be really good is what I'm trying to get at here, because now I have soap on the surface. And yeah, I mean, it feels nice and slick on the surface here as I wash the panel here. So that feels real nice. The one area what I want to show you before we do that is I'm going to do this part here, because down here on this quarter panel, it's actually also failed as well in terms of the coating. And so I want to see, you know, does that part show any signs of beading? So let me just kind of wash this. I've actually already rinsed it, so it's pretty clean. Yeah, my mitt glides really good. I mean, it's pretty good lubricity on the mitt. Again, the angle of the glass will dictate how that goes, but I mean, it's got some pretty good lubricity under here. So I'm gonna have to go revisit the bucket pretty soon, but I'm not gonna get to keep you guys on camera. So let's see if it does anything in terms of beading on that flat surface on the rear over here, because it was flat right smack here. So the answer is, looks like it's not doing a whole lot. Yeah, so looks like it's not doing a whole lot in terms of beading on the surface here. So I'm gonna take the mitt again and then We'll take some fresh suds on there, but yeah, this thing's not doing a whole lot in terms of protection. I'm at it, I might as well just wash this side since I got fresh suds. So again, this is just part of the testing. I'm going to wash this front end because I'm going to rinse this all off on camera. So, you know, should this be called a wash and coat? You know, saying it's leaving protection on the surface. I don't know. To be honest, I don't. From what I saw over there on that panel, probably not. Like, am I supposed to be getting heavy beating? Let me just kind of go over this glass here. Before it dries out on me, I'm gonna go with this back one too. I really don't want the soap to dry on the surface. That's why I'm kind of going over these areas that are exposed to the sun. So let's go ahead and look at that piece one more time. So that's a no on the leaving protection on the surface. Even this piece right here where I have the pressure washer gun, the nozzle right here where it looks like it's failing. Okay. So let me finish washing the rest of this. We'll come back, we'll introduce the quick detailer, then I'll share my final thoughts on the soap, the water spot remover, and at least my initial on the water spot remover and the quick detailer. So I'll come back with the quick detailer and show you. So I'm going to just rinse this off and show you the last product here. Hey everyone, welcome back here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the Diamond QD, the quick detailer, as a drying aid here. This is where it triggers a lot of people. It's like, well, you're not using a drying aid properly because you don't have a lot of water on the surface. That's not the only way you can use a drying aid. I'm using it to come back and mop up any missed areas that may have some water on there as I use the Ego blow dryer on here. So again, that's my process. Use whatever works for you. If you want to go and use it on top of all this water, go for it. I'm not telling you not to. This is just my process that works, and it's been working for me. Now, the one thing you will have to think about is if you have all this water on the surface and you're using a drying aid that offers protection, you're not going to get the maximum performance of that protection because it's being diluted with water. So in this instance, that's where I'm going to be using this. I should get the maximum benefit of this. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to flip this camera around. And we got a little visitor here just popping by. I'm going to go ahead and use it on this lower panel first here. And we're going to go ahead and spray some on here. Actually, we'll spray this whole panel here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my towel. If I can get my towels properly set up here. So I'm going to use a gauntlet towel. So you can see I have a little bit of water on the surface here. So that's really what I'm just mopping up here on the surface. You know what, let's go ahead and just wipe off this glass too while we're at it. And that's primarily the way I use a drying aid. I know people are going to be like, no, that's not the proper way. Wipe this off. Okay, so it does feel pretty slick. It's not the slickest I've seen, but I've felt, but it's not bad. We'll get to some more surface, another surface that has water on it. Let's see how it plays on glass here. And really what I should be doing is just one single mist all the way across because you don't need a lot of product on there. So let me get my towels up here. And so, you know, underneath the towels, I'm spreading it on the surface. I got a little bit of water spots on here as I was drying. So underneath the towel as I go over it, it feels pretty slick. So that's telling me it has good lubricity on the surface. And it seems to go on glass okay. Kind of just flashes off. And I'll just kind of wipe up this area. And get this little trailer under the mirror. Okay, now what I always like to do with a drying it, regardless of what it is, I will come back with a secondary towel and just knock off any excess here, because I have, like, I saw some smearing right here. And so I knock that down. I can see it right here on my glass. Can you see that? So that something's on this surface that kind of doesn't play well. So what is that? I think it's the quick detailer, to be honest. I'm gonna spray some on my towel instead, as I think it's just drying too fast. Maybe that's why they said use it with water. Interesting. It's not playing well with whatever I have on the surface. It's pretty smeary right here. Almost feels like it's a coating. So I'm really kind of scrubbing this on glass. So maybe on glass is not the best example. Like, I got it here too. Yeah, so maybe on glass that's not that great. I couldn't see it because my glasses have transitioned because the sun is out, but yeah, interesting. It's kind of weird on the glass, you know. Or is there something on my towel that, these are clean though. Weird. We'll try it on the other side of the glass and then we'll see. All right, takes care of that. Put that there. Put that there, and then I'll get the pressure washer and we'll see if it beads any water on the surface. Man, that thing is kind of not the easiest product to work with, that's for sure. I'm just doing the secondary wipe to make sure I don't have any residue on there. So let's go ahead and check it out. Let me get my pressure washer going. I don't have the pressure washer on, but this should at least tell us or show us that it does bead. Again, this piece here was completely flat, so I got enough pressure. I mean, that's pretty darn hydrophobic. Yeah, that's pretty good. How about the other side? Let's go on the other side and check it out, where I put the other failed spot. Okay, so that's this piece here. So you can see it does have some pretty good hydrophobics on there, on the surface. So let me flip this over. We're gonna do final thoughts here. It's kind of a pain to work with, but let me actually go wipe that down as we talk about the products. So, all right. So what do I think about the two products that I showcased here at the moment? So let me just kind of wipe this off. I'll wipe this off and then we'll talk final thoughts, because I can't do two things at once right now. I just want to make sure that this is completely off so I don't get any weird water spotting on the surface here. Okay. All right, so let's talk about final thoughts here of the two products here, and then we'll talk about it. I did use a little bit of Revive soap. I did put that in the bucket, and I use it as a pre-wash on the two areas where they were flat. Just kind of wipe it in with a microfiber towel. I'll save the rest for the next wash. it didn't bring anything back on the surface of the coating there, so it didn't do anything for so Revive couldn't unclog, or what we thought was a clogged coating. So then I used DSolve, which you guys saw on that panel, and it didn't do anything. It didn't revive, didn't unclog the coating. The coating just completely failed. So I used this, and then I came back and I used the water spot remover, and you saw that it was beating on the surface. I know they're going to come back and say, hey, well, Ivan has said that it excites the whatever on the paint, or I don't know what the heck they were talking about. I honestly forget what he exactly said, but once I hit it with water, you could see it bead on there. And so that's why I said I think the water spot remover gives a false sense of, or it says a false implication that the coating has been revived. So that's why you wanted to use DSolve and kind of see what that did on the surface. So we use that. Again, that's just an initial look at that one. Seems to work like any. Like I said, I don't suffer from water spots here, so I can't really comment on that on here. Then we use Diamond Coat Care here. Now this is supposed to be a wash and coat, right? And use as your regular maintenance wash, where you're just going to do like a moderately, light to moderate dirty vehicle. So we use this. I think 100 milliliters is just too much product to use on there in your foam cannon. If you can dial that back, that'd be a lot better. But 100 milliliters, basically, so the 500 ml bottle, so I use 100 milliliters. So that brings me down to 400 milliliters, plus I had to use 30 milliliters in the bucket. So that brings me down to what, 370 milliliters left in here, is that what it is? 500 minus, yeah, so there you go. So it left me with that much in there, which, again, you burn through that quite often, especially if you're gonna do a foam rinse foam, that can be quite much. During the wash process, pretty decent lubrication, not the best. I've actually felt better, but it's pretty decent. You're not gonna scratch your car on there. So again, pretty decent lubrication on there. Good foaming. Foam ride really good out of the gun, and the pressure washer gun foams good in the bucket. Real nice lather that when you get on it. In terms of it leaving protection, we saw it didn't leave any sort of protection on the surface, especially on those two areas that again has a failed coating on there. It didn't do anything to revive that coating, or even other spots where it looks like it's failing on here. This did nothing to enhance the hydrophobics on there. Are they going to give me that funky statement that kind of like other manufacturers have said that the soap needs hours to set up, and yet if you come back the following wash, you're going to notice beading? They may. Honestly, I don't know, but yeah. So again, it offered nothing in terms of hydrophobics on it, other than it's just a nice pH neutral soap. Is there better? Absolutely. This is, to me, just kind of falls right in the middle of the pack. Nothing really stood out to me about this one. So I don't think you're really missing out on anything. A great soap if you want to stay in the Diamond ProTech line, that's for sure. But I think it's middle of the pack in comparison to other products on here. Rinse is clean. Again, no protection on there. We touched on that, and then we're going to kind of go over the quick detailer. Okay, so I read the directions after I was using it, but I got a guy with the motorcycle out there. You saw I was struggling with it on spraying it directly on the surface, especially on glass. But if you read the directions on here of this product here, it says to spray it into a towel. And if you spray it into a towel and you go over the surface, it just works a lot better with it. What the heck? The beauty is of living through a street that's the only one that's here in the neighborhood that goes all the way through. So yeah, so again, not the easiest to use when you spray directly on the surface. Spraying into a towel works a lot better. Spraying onto a wet surface works a lot better. So this one, again, not the easiest to work with. If you're going to be using it on dry paint, you just spray it onto your towel, then come over with a secondary towel. So I think there's just something in here that likes to be broken down with water, but you saw on the surfaces that I did apply it to, it is hydrophobic and it will restore hydrophobic protection on there. So it's pretty substantial in terms of leaving some real nice hydrophobic behavior, as both sides of the failed coating on the passenger and the driver's side were, this left its performance on there. In terms of appearance, it looks pretty good. I'll show you what this looks like real quick. So this is the Equinox that they're being wiped down with it. Again, I need to come back and wipe down the front here, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. So you're gonna notice some enhanced gloss as I'm looking here on the hood. A real nice finish. So again, pretty good product for gloss, hydrophobics. Real nice finish. It's not the slickest. If I take my towel, it's not the slickest on the surface. I've definitely felt slicker products. Even feeling it, yes, I have gloves on because I didn't want to get that stuff in my hands. But even my gloves kind of just don't go on there. It's not the slickest product on here. It doesn't. If you like slickness, you may not like this. It's more of a smooth finish. So I mean, it's pretty decent. It's just, I think it could be a lot better. So I'm rubbing the towel on the surface here. So yeah, you can see if I pan down here. So it's pretty decent. It's not, it doesn't move. I mean, I'm just using the weight of my finger here. Like I said, it's pretty decent. Nothing to write home about in terms of slickness. Like I said, I think it could be better than what's given to us. But I mean, if you want to stay in the Diamond ProTech lineup, this is the product that you're going to want to use because it's designed to work with their I almost said ceramic coat. It's designed to work. It's designed to work with their coatings. All right, so Diamond Body 36, Diamond Quick Body, and any of their pro lines of coatings. I think if you want to use this, you may want to follow the directions, spray it on the towel, wipe it on the surface, come back and dry it off. Don't spray directly on the surface because you're going to notice this weird residue and you're going to be struggling with it. So unless the surface is wet, completely wet, then this is where this is going to come through. So I think this product needs to be applied to a surface that's wet or a damp towel on there. So again, once my towel got more damp with other water, it started to behave better. So that's a look at those three products. We'll take a look at the APC and Revive at some point. I think when next time I clean these tires, we'll take a look at the APC, and then we'll take a look at Revive down the line here, kind of see how that goes in terms of an acidic wash. So that's where I'm at with this, guys. Let me know what you guys think, and post your comments down below. Hey everyone, welcome back here. So this has got some bonus content here in terms of final thoughts, and I actually reached out to Tyler because I had some questions on the product before I actually released this video. First things first, let's go over Diamond DSolve here. So this is their water spot remover. I asked him for some off-label uses for this, and I actually should have looked at the email when I was doing this, but he says some off-label uses for a water spot remover. Well, it's not the primary intent of the product, which is why we don't officially market it this way. It can function effectively as a fall remover. It won't have the same dramatic bleeding effect you'd see with a dedicated iron remover on a white car, but it still works well across more surfaces. So you're not going to get that purple effect that an iron remover has. Similarly, it can also serve as a wheel cleaner when needed, offering strong cleaning performance beyond just water spot removal. So there you go. If you need a strong wheel cleaner, you could use that as an off-label use for it. I probably wouldn't use it that way because then it's kind of expensive, but hey, there's that. Because now they have their APC, you can just use their APC as well. So the next product that I asked them about was Diamond Coat Care, because you saw in my video that this didn't leave any type of hydrophobic layer. So if I go back to the label here, it says the nanoparticles within Diamond Coat Care shampoo will bond to the vehicle surface, forming a protective and extremely hydrophobic layer over its surface. So again, you saw that I had no hydrophobic effect like on the dead spots of the coating. So I asked Tyler that same thing. It's like, hey, does this build up over time? What's the deal here? Because I didn't see anything. So he says, for Coat Care, great observation. And we're happy to clarify, Coat Care is best thought of as a slickness enhancer rather than a full-blown protective layer. It doesn't leave behind the same level of protection you'd get from QD or Quick Body, but it does a fantastic job of enhancing existing coating and making the wash process smoother, even on uncoated vehicles. The second part to that is you can move directly from Coat Care to QD as a drying aid or post-wash protection without any issue. So you can actually wash with this, and then once during your drying process, you can go straight to this with no issues. You're going to add protective qualities here, and just as based on what he said, this is just going to kind of just enhance the appearance and again enhance slickness on there. not so much leaving a hydrophobic surface behind, which I kind of had that idea that that's what it was doing, because the 3D GLW ceramic wash came to mind when I used that, and I was like, man, this thing doesn't do anything. These guys are claiming that it leaves protection behind, but it's the same thing where you're not going to have that, what do you call it, that, the hydrophobic layer left behind. And one dead giveaway is this foam really well right out of the foam cannon. Typically a ceramic wash, like G-Technic has one. They have the ceramic G-Wash, and Geon has their ceramic wash as well. Two examples there. Those will not foam. The foam just dies off. They're not stable with the ceramic added into the soap. So when a soap foams really good and it says we have ceramic protection in there, don't expect it to do anything on the surface in terms of leaving hydrophobic properties behind. That's just the nature of this. It just doesn't have enough, what do you call it, protective properties mixed in there. So I just wanted to kind of just share that. I should have mentioned that. I don't know if I did in the video, but I just want to kind of make that clear. Now, Diamond QD, you guys saw I was kind of fighting this a bit here. And so I was telling Tyler, he's like, hey, look, I had this. Have you experienced this? And he says, I've noticed a little of what you describe, but not much. The main reason is that early in his detailing career, he says he has the habit of spraying directly into a towel to prevent overspray. He says for testing, though, he intentionally sprayed directly onto panels across multiple sections and left it sitting. From both my own trials and the R&D team's extensive testing, we found that what you experienced usually comes down to over-application. They emphasize working one panel at a time. If it's left too long on the surface, QD can become a bit stubborn to wipe off. That's simply a reflection of its potency as a protectant, which also explains the strong hydrophobic behavior you noticed. That's what he mentioned here. So I don't think I was overusing it when I was just missing it across the panel. But he has, as he mentioned, if you let it sit too long, maybe it was too breezy that day I used it, and so the air kind of accelerated the drying time of it, possibly causing me issues. So again, it could be all temperature related at this point. And you saw that once I sprayed it in the towel, I didn't have that problem on there. So just something to note about a QD, that is, if you do have that issue, just spray it in your towel or come back with a damp towel and kind of wipe off any excess in there. You shouldn't have any issues with it. But you saw how extremely hydrophobic this is. So I just want to come back and touch on this. So I appreciate Tyler for reaching back out to me and responding to my questions that I had for him. And I hope this kind of helps out in kind of understanding these two new products here. So again, a bit of a learning curve with this. You're probably going to want to work panel by panel and spray it into your towel and just go from there, rather than, you know, spraying it on the surface. Don't go too crazy and spray multiple surfaces unless the surface is pretty wet. Unlike mine, where I use the Ego blow dryer. But if your surface is, after you wash it and you have all that water on there, you're probably not going to have that issue. But if you're going to blow dry the vehicle like I did, you may experience that issue. So again, I want to appreciate Tyler for answering those questions, and I hope this kind of helps you guys out. So that's all for you guys on some feedback from Tyler. Again, I appreciate Tyler for reaching out to me. He reached out pretty quick too. So again, that's all I have for you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Post your comments down below. I think once you kind of figure out how to play around with these products, you'll be okay. Again, it may be a little slight learning curve with new stuff here and there, and that was my first time using it. Now that I know how to use this product, I shouldn't have an issue the next time I use it. So this was pretty potent. You can tell it's going to leave some substantial protection on the surface just based on how hydrophobic that is. So it's almost like a light version of a ceramic sealant on there. So pretty good stuff thus far. So from Diamond ProTech, again, so once you kind of learn the products, I think you'll be okay. And I think if you're strictly in the Diamond ProTech lineup, meaning you're using their coatings, and you're like, hey, what do I need to use to maintain this? They got their maintenance line. I think once you start using it, you'll be okay. So Tyler, thank you again for sending these out to me. Thank you for responding to my questions and feedback that I had. And guys, post your comments down below. And again, try the new hype feature. Let me know how this works out. So again, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next one. Take care, everyone.